Hey everybody, what's up? This is another one of my Lost podcasts. This is for Lost episode 412 called There's No Place Like Home, Part 1. You guys all know the drill. If you're not Lost fans, I'm going to talk openly and freely about Lost, so either just say hello and leave a comment or click off now. But first of all, a little housekeeping type stuff. I found a cool video on YouTube from the guy who plays Hurley, doing the top 10 list on David Letterman, top 10 signs that you're addicted to Lost. So I'm going to put that link over here. Also, everybody please note that Lost is not on next week. The week after, 2 weeks from now, there's a 2-hour parts 2 and 3 technically of the season finale. So keep all that in mind too. This is Lost. This is episode 412 called There's No Place Like Home, which is obviously a reference to The Wizard of Oz. What an amazing episode. There was so much going on. You could really tell that this was part 1 of a 3-hour episode. So it felt a bit jam-packed. And I realized that every character on the show was in this episode except for Penny and Whitmore. And Whitmore was actually like, he's there in spirit, to say the least. But we had the others. We had Richard Alpert, we had Ben, we had Locke and Ben's camp, we had Jack, we had Saeed, we had Michael, everybody on the freighter, Miles, everybody, we had everybody. So it was very cool. So what I did is I just kind of jotted some notes down in my thoughts, because it's almost impossible to do a recap of something of this magnitude. I did like how the flash forward was the flash forward of the Oceanic 6, which we now know is for sure it's Kate, Jack, baby Aaron, Saeed, Hurley, and Son. There was some controversy earlier this season about whether or not Aaron would be part of it, only because Aaron was technically not on the plane. I believe I said that Aaron was part of it just because that's the way the media would put him down, and that woman on the plane said this is the brand, Oceanic 6. So now we know. I loved the look they all had on that plane. They just looked like they were, like something really bad had just happened, and that they were just through hell. Maybe part of it is just that they're nervous about seeing their loved ones and, getting off finally the island and being back to civilization. But it looked like there was more to it. It looked like, obviously, if they have this lie that they're sticking to, and the lie is that everybody died on the plane except for 8 people. So now the thing that I want to know is, who are these 2 people that end up being dead that the press knows about? I'm sure we're going to find that out. I tend to think it's going to be Juliet for one reason or another, and who knows who the other one is. It's not going to be Ben. I think Ben just slips away. So I don't know who that other one would be, or unless it's Rose and Bernard. That would be, gosh. So I don't know why everybody would think these people are all dead. So that's going to be interesting to see. Okay, I just jotted some notes down. There's a part when Sawyer finally meets back up with Jack. Now this is the first time since like the beginning of the season, and Sawyer makes a comment. He goes, "You don't get to die alone, Jack," which was Jack's famous speech in season 1. It seems like Jack is all over the place. This plan keeps changing and changing and changing, and Jack is just like trying to chase, this wild plan. And Sawyer is almost a little bit more set in the ground here. Like the roles are almost changing, and it actually happened at a point when Jack, at the end, when they find out about Hurley being lost or being stuck with Ben by the Orchid station, he says, "Son of a bitch," and that used to totally be a Sawyer comment. I love how Sawyer ends up looking for Hurley. That was very cool, and I like that Sawyer actually also called Frank Shaggy. I thought that was really neat. Okay, another random observation here. When Faraday goes on the raft, and brings the people to the freighter, that raft holds 6 people. There's the Oceanic 6. So does this raft have something to do with them getting back? Just another random thought. Okay, speaking of that freighter plane that the Oceanic 6 were on, did you notice the pilot, or one of the pilots, had a lucky rabbit's foot in his hand, on the keychain or something, as did Hurley's car in his fast forward. I guess apparently in one of the Volkswagen vans in the beginning of, or last season, that Hurley was driving, it had a rabbit's foot in it too. I'll also post a link to the Orchid Station video that was on the Season 3 DVD that they showed at Comic-Con, with the rabbits that were in the Orchid Station. And the rabbits are moving through time. They had one jump and came back in time, and suddenly there were two rabbits, two of the same rabbits. So that leads me to think that when they're moving, wanting to move the island, let me get my notes here. Moving that island has something to do, maybe moving it with the Orchid Station through time, not necessarily through space, but through time. And I think that these rabbits' feet that they're showing are kind of symbolic of that. Maybe that's just, just happening, but it seems like nothing on this show is just random. Okay, we go to Jin's, and they're to Sun's flash forward. She confronts her father. She owns more of the company. I think her father has something to do. He's one of the big power players here, right up there with Widmore and Dharma. And I think that now that Oceanic, the Oceanic Airlines gave the settlement to Jin, to Sun, that they may actually own, this money now. They've taken away the power from his father. She said something like, "There's two people responsible for Jin's death. You're one of them, Dad." So who's this other person? What is she talking about? Very, very interesting. Okay, the Hurley flash forward. He hears the whispers in the house. How cool was that? Referring to the jungle and what the others and all that. I kind of figured it was a surprise party. Then his mom said, my favorite quote of the episode, "Jesus Christ is not a weapon." How cool was that? And that was the car that we saw at the season opener of beginning of episode 401. Okay. When Faraday got on the boat, they've mentioned this bearing of 305 a bunch of times. That's so important, and I wonder why. It seems like there's a time displacement outside of that bearing, and I don't understand the science of that. Again, I'd like to hear what you guys think of that. On the freighter, oh my God, we see all that dynamite, and that's blocking the signal for the freighter to go anywhere, to go on that bearing. I think what Carmi or Martin, whatever, Carmi, he was wearing that thing on his arm. It looked like an iPod Nano. I keep calling it to my friends. His iPod Nano, I believe he has the ability to blow up that freighter and to detonate that dynamite whenever he wants. Okay, my other favorite part of this episode, there were two favorite parts. One was Hurley in that car, seeing the numbers again. Hurley's story was the first one we saw with the numbers way back in season 1. So that was cool, and Hurley freaked out and took off running, which we saw him do a lot in his flash forwards already. My other favorite part was Claire's mom confronting Jack. I love the way the way Matthew Fox did that. He did it such an awesome job at that. And the last time, I have to check this out for sure, but Claire's mom was in a coma the last time we saw her. She's out of the coma. And I think in Claire's flash forward this season, Claire's mom came out of a coma too. So why are these people kind of having an awakening now that these people are back? Is this the island waking these people up? And these are all parents of the people on the island. The Claire story, I am so glad they brought that back. That was one of those things they introduced in season 3. I think it was season 2 or season 3 that they've just not done anything with. And now that really gives a much greater weight as to why Jack left her behind. Okay, other cool thing, the others showed up. Richard Alpert showed up with the others. At the end, all the different camps seemed to be coming together. I love that this episode had just every character in it. It was just so dense. In the ending, you see Ben, you see all the sides coming together in slow motion. And I watched this a couple times. Ben did not get shot at the end. He got hit in the head. I don't know why, if the island wouldn't let him shoot him or what. This was awesome. I think parts 2 and 3, and when we watch all 3 parts together as a whole, are going to be absolutely amazing. Thanks for watching. This was all over the road. There was a lot I wanted to get over, so not a lot of theories, but there were some wonderful sentimental moments right at the beginning when they got off the island, met their family. That's the Lost I like the best, is the sentimental aspect of it. I will talk to you guys in 2 weeks about Lost. Take it easy. Bye.